The Giants are going into the 2020 NFL season with probably the most adversity to face for an NFL team. Having a new rookie head coach that's never been a head coach before, bringing in a new coaching staff, and having to go through an offseason that does not include rookie minicamps, OTAs, or anything of that sort to get to know your players with having hands-on experience with them. Instead, going through 14 kited practices and a couple of training camp days with no preseason games, the Giants have a lot of adversity to face this upcoming season. So there's no question that there needs to be players that step up in this time of need right now and help this team win games. We need these players to step up in order for the Giants to be successful for this year and seasons to come. So in this video, I'm giving you six players on the Giants roster that need to break out in 2020 for the Giants to be successful this season. I'm also going to throw in two honorable mentions, as I think their importance on the team is needed, but I don't think they will impact the team as much as the others will. Now, the top 6 guys are in no particular order. I'm just reading them off of how I wrote them down. So bear with me. Let's get started. Our 27 squad, let me hear it down in the comments, and also like this video if you guys are enjoying the content and want to see more in the future. Let's get started. Let's start off with our honorable mentions. Our first one, Julian Love. Now, Julian Love is a guy that you could throw out pretty much anywhere on the defense right now. Nobody really knows where Julian Love is going to be playing in 2020. In James Bettcher's defense, he was used as a free safety as he struggled in the slot and outside roles. But with the new defensive scheme that Patrick Graham is bringing in, will Julian Love get a look at cornerback, as that's one of our weakest positions on the defense right now? We have a decent amount of depth, but we don't really have the guys to get it done, especially on the outside corner position. Now, Julian Love would have probably made the top 6 on this list, or probably would have been the 7th addition had the Giants not gone out and signed Ross Cockrell. Now, Julian Love would have been in competition for that second outside corner spot due to DeAndre Baker's situation, but for now I think Julian Love is going to be fighting for some type of slot role, as I don't think he's in much competition for the outside role. Our last honorable mention is Ryan Connelly. Now, Connelly is slated to be our second starting inside linebacker, hoping that he is going to be, as David Mayo was re-signed, but I don't envision him being a starter for this team. I envision Ryan Connelly coming back from injury and starting for the New York Giants. Now, his position is needed, as the Giants have needed a strong inside linebacker for quite a long time now, but Blake Martinez should fill in that role as a number 1 guy, and of course we run the 3-4 defense, so we need another inside linebacker. I have really high hopes for Ryan Connelly. I'm a huge Ryan Connelly fan. I think he's a better pass cover guy than a lot of people give him credit for, but I don't think his play is necessarily needed for the Giants' success in 2020. So let's get on to our 6 players. Now, the first one I want to bring up is Will Hernandez. Hernandez just gets better every year, but we are still left wanting more, and the Giants need that from him this year, with potentially 3 new starters on the offensive line, with the only consistent personnel coming from the guard position. Hernandez needs to be that veteran presence to help develop a rookie left tackle like Andrew Thomas, who is going to depend on Hernandez holding down the left side of the line. With Zeitler getting up there in age, he may not be a part of the Giants' plans much longer. Hernandez needs to be the rock of this line. Next up, we have Evan Engram. Some may argue that Engram, if healthy, will benefit most from this new scheme, and in turn will benefit the team as a whole. See, if the Giants are running the ball to set up the pass, the majority of the time, the pass is going to be a play-action rollout, and who is always the receiver targeted on a play like that? The tight end. We have seen Engram's ability to make plays, especially on these rollouts. Week 3 in Tampa Bay last year gives you 75 reasons to the house. The big question is, can he stay healthy? This offense depends on it. Next up, Daniel Jones. You could argue Daniel Jones did break out last season, as nobody thought he would reach the stats that he reached in his rookie campaign. Amounting to 3,027 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, but there is so much to Daniel Jones that I think he can outperform himself from last year. Jason Garrett's new system he is bringing fits Daniel Jones to a T, and should take advantage of Jones' ability to use play action and to set up the deep pass down the field, and also use his legs to extend and make plays. Jones has a serious fumbling issue, however. If he can fix those issues, we're looking at potentially a top 10 quarterback. Next up, Darius Slayton. Here's another rookie that you could argue broke out last season, but again, you have to think Slayton is going to outproduce himself from last year. Slayton started off last season slow. He struggled in training camp but quickly snapped out of it and became a human highlight reel, but injury kept him from the first 2 games of the season. Slayton totaled 740 yards, which led the Giants in receiving this year, and also tied rookie receivers in touchdowns with 8. Slayton is coming in competition with Shepard and Tate to see who is going to be the number 1 wide receiver. And with Shepard's injury history and Tate's age, you have to think that the Giants are going to incorporate Slayton more. The Giants need a receiver like Slayton, a deep threat that can also make the tough catches. Lorenzo Carter or OSHANE XIMINES. I chose these 2 pass rushers to be in one slot because we just need one of these 2 guys to really separate themselves from one another. The Giants drafted Carter in 2018 with a 3rd round pick and had a decent rookie season with limited playing time, totaling 4 sacks. The following year, however, being awarded the starting role, Carter was only a half sack better than his rookie campaign, and in some games he would totally disappear. O'Shane's career started off in a very similar way. With a limited role, the X-Men totaled 4.5 sacks, but will we see a similar trend to that of Lorenzo Carter? O'Shane is said to be working with Giants great O.C. Umenyiora, but let's see how that may affect his play. Either way, the Giants struggle forcing pressure and finishing with a sack. We need one of these young developmental edge rushers to really hit their stride. Last but not least, Leonard Williams. The Giants traded for the Big Cat late into the 2019 season due to the lack of production from second-year hopeful B.J. Hill. Williams, being a former top 10 pick, was supposed to provide some pressure and preferably sacks, but came up with just a half sack all year. With that said, the Giants still franchise tagged Williams, paying out $16 million to keep him for just 1 more year. Sounds like the best prove-it deal to me, huh? If the Giants want to keep this team going in the right direction, Leo needs to prove that he is worth the contract instead of using the $16 million elsewhere. Otherwise, this can set the G-men back. So that is my top 6 New York Giants that need to break out in 2020. Let me know your top 5, top 6, top 10 guys you really think need to break out in order for the Giants to be successful. As always, I'm your host Kid Blue, and I'll see you guys in the next video.